Welcome! In this video I will show you how to conquer the entire map in a span of single lifetime, employing formidable mechanics of nomadic government, fortified by plot armor of one famous, angry teenager. All of that in turn shall fulfill the condition for Stallion that mounts the world achievement. With Allunderheaven DLC, world map grown quite a bit larger, and the challenge intensified with it. So I am excited to see it through as well. Yet there is another reason for all of this. From my experience, once you have dominion over approximately half of the world, the game performance deteriorates significantly, and then falls to crawling single in-game day at speed of 5 per 1 second of grass touchers, once total unification has been achieved. So now that the map expanded and developers presented us with this stunning graph that objectively demonstrates that the game is indeed better now, I want to go and have a feel for myself. So saddle up, time to play the game.
Begin by constructing Square of Harash to facilitate unrelenting expansion. I believe it is wise to restrict yourself to level 3 buildings to save up herd, because we need to amass 10,000 livestock as fast as possible. You don't have a lot of people, so use recruit from nomadic capital decision. That will exact only a modest amount of herd. And those recruit are not average run-of-the-mill guests, and are bound to have some useful traits or suspiciously good stats to serve at court positions. We start with one vassal, and I am gonna promptly revoke a title from him. My objective is to get hold of Burkhan Khaldun for its bonus to county fertility in mountains, where we are, and a bit of renown accumulation, because history needs to remember me. Create an accolade. Fortune favors me, so I grab a valiant one. He will provide flat bonus to army damage output. Go for chivalry focus for extra 5 advantage, cause we need all the firepower we can master. Now there are some herders around. Rather than extracting tribute, a strategically unsound decision, as nomadic migration may replace them with rulers unwilling to respect my authority. Thus, we shall instead demand pasture lands, thereby assuming direct control. Then give land to my family members, making them my vassals. Be warned, you have vassal limit of mere 3. Now that preparations are finished, we need to lay a military plan. Luckily,
I have a plan. Attack!
So we shall pursue a tributary subjugation along the eastern trajectory. In order for the whole thing to work out, it is absolutely imperative to become greatest of Khans before age of 50, and I don't mean 49. So when I say 10,000 herd as fast as possible, I probably did not deliver it correctly. Do you know what relentless means? For the next 10 years I will stop war only once to host an urge. That basically converts portion of herd into gold, but that is for the sake of sustaining my armies. Don't forget to use Master Art of Command decision. It will give you a chain of dilemmas, and you will have to use 6 sense and 8 ball to navigate through, but it will give you a commander trait at the end. Building recreation chamber can be a good decision, cause having ambitious and diligent disposition, our boy is prone to stress accumulation. Don't forget to check prison for individuals with good stats or hide prowess to recruit. We don't have HR department, so it's important to cast wide net. Actually, this is fairly popular technique. Do you have troubles at work? Go to local maximum security facility and recruit yourself someone capable. Works every time, trust me. Remember that nomadic rulers can declare wars without disbanding standing armies. Because if you are anything like me, that is conditioned like Pavlovian dog to press enforced demands, so be it, disband armies with speed Clint Eastwood can only dream of. You will have to gather your troops in your land and perform a walk of shame through your tributaries' territories in order to reach next war target that you had been standing near just a moment ago. After promptly gathering taxpayers in East, we vote northward. Those guys usually are quite weak. Also, we go only for duchy level rulers or higher, no time for small fry. 2 units of Mungadai shall suffice in an army, if Temujin is commanded personally. You just need to increase their size once their number falls to half, cause that will simultaneously replenish them. With that, initial awkward phase is over. And with more robust army, the process becomes more streamlined. The only downside is that this mountainous region is quite hard to navigate, so it takes a bit more time. In my hands, Temujin will live approximately till 80s if nothing happens. The complete conquest of the map will take around 30 years and 10 years before Second Domination War. Factor in few years to stabilize the empire for heir, plus buffer for some mishaps, so we need first title before 35. Few more years of convincing people that tribute is a privilege and desired wealth finally acquired. Upgrade to high dominance, and now I only need some prestige to start domination war. Time to host another Nurge, I guess. And the plot armor event occurs. Becoming conqueror is all good, but 30,000 herd is even better. I have no knowledge of precise condition, but nothing to do with age. The better you perform, the faster it will happen, and it's extremely desired. Now, because of herd influx, I am officially no longer a bum, so upgrade man yurt to unblock max level of buildings, as well as increase herd capacity, and assign courtiers for associated bonuses. Start a domination war, and because all people inside the Jura kingdom our capital is in are already my tributaries, there is no one to oppose me, so I gracefully take the title of the Khan. Map conquest plan consists of 2 phases, but now I am in between, because of 10 years cooldown for domination war, so for time being the things will go in more relaxed manner. So, put our stuff on display and fix court amenities to resolve stress problem once and for all. For Dynasty Legacy I will go for Kin Pass, gearing for constant care. Getting Infirm and a Plague on top of that can lead to Temujin premature demise, so taking care of health is the most important. Now, with extended court positions, I can search for Siege Engineer. I need to destroy Torch Bearer's unit and put him on build siege equipment task. After a few months that will give me an onager, which doesn't sound too fancy, but horses are not good at sieges unless they are made from wood. I will still declare wars from time to time, but mainly to do something in between activities. The most important are hunts for Venerator trade and tournaments for Bow Pass. Also, divorce my wife and marry someone really smart. Induced with this newly acquired patronage, do the unprecedented. The Khan of Mongolia moves on to the university arc. And luck on my side, I upgrade to Exalted Warlord. Interesting fact, if you go to Chinese university, you have a chance to get Confucian trait. That is extra 4% lifestyle experience. Anyway, back to hunting. Few years passed, and after getting Suppers and Strategist, I switched to Intrigue tree for Prepared for Anything and Court of Shadows. You see, even though you cannot be killed with Greatest of Hunt trait, people will still try to, and one of interaction that result in gifting you a poisoned gold can give you health debuff. That will make you die on your own, and I won't take risk, cause that did happen to me. Alright, 20 years into the game and I can advance to Empire title. Make sure my boys are replenished. Time to go and do some negotiation. Just run into enemy, 40 advantage will do the job. I don't exactly have maxed out army or great infrastructure, and there is no incentive to max everything, cause what I have will do the job. Domination war score comes mainly from fighting battles, but if you don't see enemy troops anywhere, I advise attacking the capital of the guy whose crest is displayed on war icon. Now I can create an additional accolade, and I believe Stalwart is a good choice because my armies do not replenish with time, but be aware that this bonus applies only to army he is attached to. There is no need to wait, so we go for become greatest of Khan decision. I just need to convince some people to become obedient. Didn't even need to bribe anyone. So in the year 1200, which coincidentally matches usual time Temujin arrives, I began the War of Great Defiance. But as usual, enemies failed to show up in timely manner, so I went to host coronation meanwhile. This war went particularly easy. I just crushed a few armies that graciously delivered themselves onto me and went back to take one county that was occupied while I was far. So it took me 25 years to Chinggis up the Temujin, and that's good enough. As usual, most of nomadic tribunaries rapidly reassessed the political situation and became my vassals. I like to start working with my men-at-arms to convert special troops for later, and since China had blown up, I decided to start moving south. Usually I would advise stacking ruin a submission counter on weaker enemies and then use it to force some amount of kingdoms to join painlessly, but there is not enough time for that. So this game I do the opposite, fight kingdoms assuming that large part of them will not join anyway, and the duchies would be a freebie later, excluding confederations obviously. In a few years, I approximated gain progress and came to concerning conclusion. The prognosis says that with such perpetual territory gains, the patient will not live long enough to see the realization of our ambition. Luckily, I learned nothing from history, so I opened the second front. I am also insane, so I opened the third. One army is tasked with going west and eventually reaching Norway. One is aiming the farthest southwest part of Africa, and the last one is taking care of laboursome subjugation of Southeast Archipelago. The idea is to reach four corners of the map. That will have two advantages. First, vassals sometimes will wage wars and gain land for your empire without you doing anything. Second, having long border will help you to faster see when someone reaches understanding that it is better to submit. By the way, you can recruit units from your vassals. Here I am switching onagers to trebuchet. What was I talking about? Back to army management. Select second army and move to siege the castle. Third army just finished war, accept surrender, declare new war and click to move and siege. Second army just finished siege, give them a new target. First army finally arrived at the coast of Denmark, direct them towards enemy. Go back to third army, accept surrender and move towards next destination. Really nothing hard, just keep an eye on army stab so no one is lollygagging. Alas, such game style can induce symptoms of vertigo and migraine, so I advise self-medication. Besides manually offering ruin or submission to every independent ruler on map and going through point and siege click-through if they refuse, you also need to distribute acquired titles. I usually let them pile up through multiple wars and then hand out in batch. Also, when you are above domain limit, your powerful vassal like you less, and that counts towards ruin or submission chance. Mandala rulers can look large because they have a lot of tributaries, but you can offer ruin or submission to tributaries, and because they are small, they can switch to your side. Unlike confederation members, you will have to do a round of diplomacy with each of them individually. Also, I advise to avoid fighting in India and with other Eastern religion, cause those guys are more likely to warm up to you eventually. By the year 1217, special troops started to thin out. I even lost a fight in Japan. I could no longer afford third front, so two armies became one. But I was working on health focus, so it seemed that there is enough time to handle everything. I mean, 3/4 of map belonged to me already. I attempted to sneakily take over Italy to dismantle papacy eventually, but the Pope caught up. So I spent almost a year fighting pointless crusade. A few more years of fighting, and at the height of year 1230 I won against England, and that was my last war. After that I politely asked all remaining people to stop resisting the future of enlightened politics. By the way, if you want to check if there are any independent rulers, go to declare war group in item. Well, this is it. Whole map conquered, Stallion that mounts the world realized. Let's give it a bit of retrospective. I used Mongodai at the outset of campaign primarily for their remarkably low cost compared to prodigious damage they are capable of. Horse archers are broadly comparable man-horse pair with different head style. The difference is mostly in terrain modifier and counters, so I picked them without thinking, just for the sake of variety. Additionally, I recruited single cataphract archer squad, specifically to outnomad other nomads, cause they are a counter to horse arch. Military building, unsurprisingly, is the cornerstone of early game. Provides essential military might for diplomatic negotiation, while in later stages movement speed between siege targets, and enables overall campaign cause you need to be faster than old age. Cavalry training sub-building augments another 25% on top of that. Temujin is presently afflicted by consumption, which is suboptimal, but despite advanced age I think he will make it through. Whole of body trait provides health boost and iron constitution, disease resistant, and I have constant care legacy on top of that for additional safeguard. I invested into dagger storage and Court of Shadows to be absolutely confident that no sneaky bastard will get any kind of harmful happening. That is on top of Greatest of Khans and Conqueror traits, both of which give the buff to enemy hostile schemes. I did not finish the main yurt because I still have herd capacity and that was never my goal anyway. But there is a bit of investment in gaining extra lifestyle experience in main yurt and religious yurt, or whatever it's called. Extremely important thing is hunter trait for health boost, and Hasteluder for same reason. By the way, Traveler also provides a teeny boost of that. Through RNG I also got my hands on 2 pieces of cheese, that also a small health boost. I could go for some cheese now. And 2 elixirs were put on display in court to broadcast "I live healthy by the way" message. Well, I guess the takeaway here is self-care matters. The empire is currently sustained by fear and Mongolian vibes, but Greatest of Khan trait is not inherited, therefore next emperor will have to rely on his own devices. So it is time to do preparations for transfer. I usually advise restoring Roman Empire for household gold's extraordinary bonus, but since I am doing a thematic run, I will go and take Mandate of Heaven instead. Well, once this fucking consumption finally subsides. 2 years later. The moment of important decision has come. Dismantle papacy, just in case. Secure Mediterranean decision will give bonus to prestige. I suppose it could help our heir to gain footing after accession to throne. I will consult the sky for the last time. I get health boost. I guess heavens approve of my aspirations. And take settle in steppe decision, thus ending nomadic menace and flip into feudal. Here you can see them converting in real time. Alright. Time to claim Mandate of Heaven and ascend to Emperor's throne. 'Tis a day of Yuan dynasty founding. Also convert to local culture to keep up with the times. So now we have this big celestial empire. Isn't it cool? Now.
It's fucking awful, that stuff.
You see, in celestial government, when someone's holding a kingdom title dies, it will go to most suitable candidate. But if there is no such candidate, it will go back to you. So, if there are no available people with enough merit and capital examination certificate, you will be forever stuck into endlessly appointing kingdom titles manually. At least that is allowed. But it is still a living hell! I tried calling for capital exam with lowest passing score and it produced 2 graduates that were ready to handle the business. The problem is that if someone from Wales decides to be a politician, going to Forbidden City takes longer than activity will wait. I read on forums that some people had similar problems just by conquering a few nearby kingdoms, so owning the map is not feasible. To put it technically, examination is a tool to make rulers, and it does not scale with real size. So I advise against reenacting what I did. Running celestial government is like running to the toilet. You should keep it inside. And regarding performance, first of all, game passing turns feels smoother. Instead of quickly passing 3 days and then waiting for 5 seconds, the ticks feel more uniform. And it does feel overall faster, which is impressive considering population increment. On the other hand, opening interface menus delivers sharper pain to the temple. So after consulting voices in my head, I can confidently say that objectively games run 2.42% better, like it or lump it. But if you think about owning whole map with your dynasty of over 9,000 people, you're a big dreamer. Anyway, this is all from me. So long.